When I was your age, I used to play a game called Life is Not Fair. You know why they called it that? Because life is not fair. It sucks. But you gotta play.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso, Duralde, Christy, Lemire. Blue Caprice, the story of John Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. I didn't even realize it when I started the movie that that's what it was.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
They never say their names as John Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. I mean, they're John and Lee. This is the first film from a director named Alexandre Moors. Is amazingly assured for a first film, and yeah, it does take place as they are getting to know each other. This father-son weird pairing that occurs. It's about how John Muhammad finds his kid in Antigua, the Caribbean, an island in the Caribbean, and molds him and shapes him and trains him and fills his mind with all kinds of violent ideas, and you don't really see the shootings. I mean, you kind of do, but it's more about who they are together and this bond that they share. Take a look.
I brought you here. I gave you all this.
I need you to do something for me.
The lady who lived here testified against me in court.
All it would take is a little push.
A few bodies. More than a few bodies. Random target. Total chaos.
So yeah, it's not so much, I didn't get that he put the violent ideas in his head so much as he takes this kid, and this part is true, this kid who had been abandoned by his mom and had nothing as the mom left for Florida. Kid who had been abandoned by his mom and just replaced it with this seemingly unconditional love that he was so desperate to have, and then put these conditions on it. And if the conditions had been rob a 7-Eleven, he'd have done it. And if the conditions turned out to be, we're going to shoot random people with a sniper from the back of a car outside Washington, D.C., he'll do that too. Because the kid in the movie, and I think in life, never bought into the necessity or the rationale behind John Allen Muhammad's crazy violence.
But he stayed loyal to him to the very, very end.
And then didn't. And isn't now. But I mean, the kid, you take a kid who's been abandoned and you tie him to a tree in the woods and then leave him there during a rainstorm. I mean, and then be like, now, okay, if you love me, you'll do this. I mean,
it's hazing.
If you believe,
there's something very almost culty going on.
Yeah.
If you believe this is what happened,
and
like I get that you could never let Lee Boyd Malvo go, or you couldn't give him a 10-year sentence for his participation in the murder of a dozen people around Washington and maybe many more across the country. But if this is actually what happened, if you didn't have to worry about precedent, if this is what happened to this kid, then I would be tempted to let this kid go. Like, I mean, if ever there is ever somebody was brainwashed.
Oh, totally.
This kid was brainwashed, and the movie does an incredibly effective job of portraying that.
Oh yeah, and you do wonder the whole way through, like, does John Muhammad actually care about this person, or does he just view him as malleable and weak? I don't, and you never know. It's a gray area. It's a fine line.
It's like a Svengali kind of relationship.
Right. To me, though, it's the second thing. I don't. He has moments where he's proud of him, but no, I don't think he loves him. He uses
or cares about him.
No, he supplants John Muhammad's kids who were taken from him. Appropriately, mercifully, they were taken from him.
As it turns out.
And that's what motivates Muhammad. That's what for people who don't know the story, that's why he set out on this. He had an ugly separation from his wife. He got violent. She took the kids, and she got restraining orders, and then left with the kids and kept him from seeing the kids. And this is his sort of revenge against the system that screwed him.
Yeah, it's an intense film. Isaiah Washington is a revelation. Great. I mean, he's so good in this. He reminded me a lot of Eric Roberts in Star 80. Just that sort of sense. There's that sense of malevolence and just obsession and paranoia, and where you can just see it building and building and building, and it's just going to spill out into something really horrific, which obviously it does. I think it's an amazing performance, and then.
Tequan
Richmond as the kid is amazing as well. A really cool supporting cast. Joey Lauren Adams and Tim Blake Nelson and I mean it's a very intense film, and it's not a true crime movie in the sense that they really luxuriate in the crime itself. As Christy pointed out, it's really they pull back as far as showing the actual horrifying, DC shooting spree, but you do get up close and personal for all the horrible stuff that led up to that, and you get a sense of the terror that shooting spree caused. I mean, it was that whole post 9/11, people getting anthrax powder in their envelopes.
And here's a guy named
period.
John Muhammad.
Yeah.
In this, and it took a lot of convincing to get people to believe that he was that he was just a crazy person.
Yeah.
And who changed his name. Yeah, he changed his name. He said for religious reasons, but mostly why he changed his name was so he could keep looking for his kids without people recognizing that he was a guy who wasn't allowed to look for his kids.
But it's very restrained, though, as far as the actual violence. Like, it conveys a sense of panic through 911 calls and through footage. I don't know how much of it's real, how much of it's reenacted. But the shootings themselves are really understated, which makes them, I think, even more powerful, because it's like all of a sudden, normal days going on, bam, someone gets gunned down walking in the park.
Yeah, I think, and it's hard to show a shooting in a way that audiences will react to the way they would if they were actually there. I mean, I think it's a whole lot different seeing somebody shot down in front of you than it is to see it in a movie for the millionth time. So I think to not even attempt that, but to sort of convey it in all those other ways drives the point home.
I thought the incredibly effective use of the 911 calls, which sort of enabled him to not show some of the shootings, because you create that sort of that feeling of panic and despair, and there's in the voices of the 911 calls is violence.
Right.
Oh my God, a man's been murdered in front of me, a man's been killed in front of me. All of a sudden then, when we see a couple of shootings that Lee Boyd Malvo does, where people either just open the door or or leave work and they get shot, we don't really see much at all. And because we've heard the 911 calls, I think we're able to sort of get the violence in that without so much showing it, which I think is, as you said, ended up being incredibly effective.
Also, the score is great. It's a mixture of different kinds of like classical interludes, and there's a tenseness to them, and it just builds tension the whole way through. Even things like a scene where they're going for a long run in the woods. It's just them running and the sound of their feet in the leaves and music, and that tells a whole story there. You see the bonding happening while they're running, so it's very, very subtle, very, very tense, and chilling. And
it's quiet. It's a really quiet movie for something that you wouldn't think would be quiet. And Isaiah, Isaiah Washington is in Out of Sight, and I give everyone who's in Out of Sight a total pass. So I knew he was great.
It's his big comeback role.
But this is particularly astoundingly great.
Yeah. So numbers, I would give it a 9.
8.7.
I gave it an 8.5, so it comes to basically 8.7. Oh, well, you're right. That's 8.75. Well, no, you're not right, because it's 8.725.
Do what you want.
Math is tricky. Bye.
8.7.